Today, I'm actually, as many of you know, you've probably seen me on dozens and dozens of Zoom calls over the last, I would say, 2 months or more. I've pretty much shown up as a guest, and by request, I was asked today to lead an actual Zoom with my friend, good friend, Stephen Schwartz, Dr. Stephen Schwartz. And I want to start out by letting you know that probably everyone that's on this call tonight is on here because of me. It's a very interesting story, and I want to just tell it briefly on how Healy came about, at least in this area of Southern California and other places and beyond. So for the last 20 some odd of my total 43 years in practice, prior to in functional medicine, orthomolecular medicine, preventive medicine, anti-aging medicine, I got involved in the field of quantum energetic medicine. That was around about 1999. And at that point, I purchased a device that was developed by NASA that allowed me to do a scan on a patient and immediately know what the underlying causes was of any condition they have, and then work with them to rebalance them and treat them, basically by using what are called resonant frequencies. And I always had a dream, and my dream, especially in the last many years, was the fact that there would come a time when there would be a device that became available that I could actually give to my patients when they left the office, so that they no longer had to rely on me alone to treat them, but they can continue the treatment that I was doing with them at home, at their leisure. And so I would say, well, you know, when you come to see me, for some reason your liver meridian is always out of balance, or a problem with this organ system or this particular condition. But once they left, they had to wait until they came back to me for an active treatment. Well, back in November of this year, I do a lot of work with intention and a lot of work with manifestation, and I have been doing that for, at least the last 30 years of my life. One night, I just went to the universe and said, universe, I really know this device is out there. I would like you to bring this device forward for me. I was very specific about what I was looking for, because I have learned in my own work with manifestation that the more specific you are in what you request from the universe, the better chance you have of it showing up exactly the way you'd like it. And I was very clear that this device could do a scan of a person, could do treatments. I even said the word that it would come from Germany, because I knew, based on the work that I had done, that a lot of the high-tech real good health devices were made in Germany. And lo and behold, 7 days later, to the day that I put that manifestation out, and as a matter of fact, it was the day that Mercury went direct. It was in retrograde, it went direct. I was surfing one night on the internet, and as I always do late in the evening, and we all go down that rabbit hole, and lo and behold, as I was surfing around, I saw this page, but it was in German, and I don't speak German, but it looked really interesting. So I said, could this be it? Can it have come that quickly to me? And I put the page through Google Translate, and sure enough, it was talking about this portable device that worked with frequencies that was available for people to use. And I said, oh my God. And I looked, and there was no contact information at all. There was no contact information in the United States. There was no contact information at all. But I did see the name of a person at the very bottom of this page. And I wound up looking him up. I Googled him. I found out who he was. I sent him a note. I told him that I was a doc in the US that had been working in this realm for the last 20 years. I was really interested in this product. And could he give me information? Because I would like to actually bring the product to the US and distribute it. And within 24 hours, I got a message back from him. We spent 2.5 hours on the phone that evening. And he said to me, well, how opportune is this? We're just getting ready to launch in the United States, and we were actually looking for somebody of your caliber, somebody that had knowledge of working in this field to bring it forward. And if you're interested, I will send you a device, and you can use it on yourself, and you can use it on your patients, and you can sort of evaluate it. And then if you think it's something that you would like to be interested in, let's just make this happen big. And of course, I said yes. And I got the device, I think it was about the first week in December. And so, of course, before I wanted to actually put it out there to the public, because I really honor my reputation, and I don't want to put something out unless I really know it's the real deal, I decided to try it on myself. And those of you who know me personally know that back in the early 90s, I had a near fatal car accident. I'm lucky that I survived. I had one of those near-death experiences where at the time I was told by a voice that came out of nowhere right before I felt I was out of here, saying that no, it wasn't my time to go. I'd be bringing forward all of this information about healing. I would help people, and et cetera, et cetera. And that got into my involvement in the field of energy medicine back in the late 90s. Well, that car accident unfortunately left me with some physical conditions that, even though I feel that I know how to work with a lot of people out there and I know what to do, I still wasn't able to deal with this issue that I had completely. I was able to get it about 70% under control, but I was never able to eliminate it completely. And unfortunately, in the last year and a half or 2 years, those of you who, again, who know me know that I have been unable to drive my car, to the point where I've had to take Ubers and Lyfts everywhere I go, which has been very discouraging because I kind of lost my independence. So the first thing I did was, well, if this is what they claim it is, let me try it on myself and see what happens. So I have one of my conditions is really intense peripheral neuropathy in my right foot. So I am pretty much 24/7, even though I've been able to bring it down to a manageable level. I have pain in that foot, and I can't walk on wooden or tile surfaces without wearing shoes or cushioning. It's difficult for me to walk long distances for extended periods of time. And those of you who know, I mean, neuropathy happens to be one of those issues that's very common in the US, actually. And then it got to a point where it became inflammatory so that I lost proprioception in my foot. And when I was driving, I wasn't able to go from the gas pedal to the brake pedal back and forth. There were many times when my brain said, apply the brake, but my foot was like caught in the middle of the air and I couldn't reach the brake pedal. It was the weirdest experience, but also very scary, because I had almost 4 near major accidents. One, I almost went off of a 3-level parking structure because I couldn't stop my car. Another one, I almost crashed into a brick wall. And then 2 times I was coming to a stop and I couldn't stop because I couldn't get to the brake fast enough. And at that point I said, you know what, I almost was killed once in a car. I'm not gonna let it happen to me a second time, and I'm not gonna hurt somebody else. So I stopped driving. So I figured, let's see what happens. So I looked at the programs that are offered, and I knew that it was neurological and based. And so I started to run some of the various types of nerve programs that they have on the device. So in the evening, while I was watching television, I hooked myself up to the Healy. I ran the nervous system programs. There were a couple of them. They ran about 50 minutes each. And I did it on the first night, and then the second night, and then on the third night. And then on the 4th day, I woke up and something very mysterious and miraculous happened. I didn't feel my foot, which is the first thing I noticed as soon as I wake up in the morning and I opened my eyes. There was no sensation at all. It was normal. It was like my left foot. And so I went into the shower, and usually I take a very quick shower because, again, tile floors are difficult for me to stand on for any long period of time. No problem whatsoever. And so I said, oh my God, this is like amazing, but it's probably just a fluke. And so the next day I woke up, same situation, no sensation, no problem with the shower. 3rd day, same thing. The 4th day said, I'm going to put it to the ultimate test. I have not been able to drive. I'm going to invite a friend of mine to go into the passenger seat in case something happens. And I took my car out and I drove, and well, all I can tell you is I've been driving now for 2.5 months, normally by myself, for sometimes 2 hours to go down to San Diego, etc. I have no problems. It ultimately, for me, you know, it's interesting that I was always hoping that one day somehow there was something that was going to heal me. And as it turned out, what came to me to heal me is something that I have the ability now to share with everybody else in the world to heal themselves. And I can tell you, in terms of trying it on other conditions and trying it on other people, this is nothing short of miraculous. You'll be amazed when you get this device, because as they say in Germany, we treat every condition. Anything that's out there we can treat, because it's based on the whole concept of frequencies. Everything in this world is frequencies. We operate on frequencies. The body is composed of frequency. And so if you understand how that process works and you're able to utilize the perfect frequencies for your body, magic occurs. And that's the beauty of the Healy device. That's different than any other energetic medicine device that I have seen out there, because God knows I have so many of them in my office, and most of them cost in the $30,000, $40,000 price range. This one is very affordable, as you'll see. The unique difference in this device is that it has artificial intelligence. And that, to me, is what sets it apart from any other frequency device that I have seen. It allows you the ability, when you do a scan on yourself, to be connected to a secure German medical cloud that then decides in the moment exactly which frequencies you need, in particular from a storehouse of over 144,000 frequencies that are stored in the medical cloud. And so what I mean by that is that other devices that are out there that you may have heard of, things like Rife devices, PEMF devices, other energetic devices, usually the way it works is you have a condition, you look it up in a book, it tells you specifically which frequencies to apply, and basically everyone with that same condition applies those same frequencies every single day they treat themselves. And therefore, I find that for me, I consider that static frequencies. Whereas in the Healy, what happens is you hook yourself up, the analysis happens, it goes into the cloud of 144,000 frequencies, and it selects specifically which frequencies your body needs for that condition in the moment. So that if I had 10 people in this room here, and they were all treating themselves, for example, for a broken arm, everyone's Healy would be delivering different specific frequencies to them, the ones that they actually needed. And on the second day, when you were treated, a whole other a set of frequencies would come down, and on the third day. So what I'm trying to say is that no two sessions with the Healy are ever alike. It's an impossibility. They're all unique. It's based upon the person. What I love about that is my whole practice has been based on biochemical individuality for the last 40 some odd years. And this is the only device that I have seen that really holds up to that test. So to me, this is something that is going to be a game changer, I believe, in the whole field of medicine. First of all, it's a game changer in that it is a device that gives you individual frequencies to your specific condition in the moment. But also it's a game changer in that it now turns the responsibility for one's health back over to the patient, as opposed to having to always go to the doctor every time you have an ache or a pain or this or that. Instead of going to the doctor to have him prescribe something for you, this way you can actually scan yourself, figure out what's going on, and then treat yourself. And I'll tell you, I have treated many of my friends and patients in the last couple of months, and no matter what condition they've come in with, within even the first session, they have noticed an appreciable change in terms of what's going on. But even more exciting is the second piece in the Healy, which is the use of electroceuticals. And if you don't know what electroceuticals are, you should Google it, because you'll see that in the last 6 months, there have been numerous articles in places like Scientific American, Time Magazine, Newsweek, that talk about the future of medicine. And they say that electroceuticals are the future of medicine. Right now, what they're doing on the medical side is they're trying to create electroceuticals for things like chemotherapy and different drugs that routinely cause side effects in the body, because by delivering them directly to the cells through frequency, as opposed to taking them orally or through injection, you bypass that side effect. Well, Healy has a database currently right now of over 70 different frequencies of substances, all of your vitamins, all of your minerals, all of your amino acids, your hormones, your nutritionals, and they promise that they're going to be expanding that base of substances as time goes on. And the ability to allow yourself to get the nutrients you need without having to take them orally is, to me, absolutely amazing. And it is effective because I've tried it in certain conditions, and I'll tell you, it is more effective. It's instantaneous. I had a really bad cold and flu a couple of months ago, and I thought it was going to take somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 10 days to get over it. I immediately reached for my Healy that morning when I woke up with 102 fever, hooked myself up, did the scan for cold and flu, but I also did the electroceuticals for vitamin D and zinc. And all I could say to you is that I was really sick that morning, but by 7 o'clock that night, I was out with friends having dinner with no symptoms at all. So the possibilities are endless here in terms of what we have been given. And I am so honored to be able to be one of the first people in the US to have had the device and to now build an entire community and share it with as many people as I can, because I think you'll find that once you start using Healy, you will use it every single day. And I use it every single day because it literally changes everything about your body on every level, mental, physical, emotional. I feel like I'm a different person. I feel like I'm 30 years younger, just having used it every single day for the last 3 months. So I want to go through a very quick presentation, and I'm going to do it really quickly. I know there are some new people on here tonight. Many people have seen the presentation, but I want to give just a brief overview, and then we'll talk about the launch that's happening in a couple of days and why it's so important to act quickly right now. and then we'll answer any other questions you have. So let me get into starting this presentation here.
Thank you, Dr. Small, for that background. Really awesome.
Let's see if we can do. We had a little issue earlier with being able to. I'm going to try first to blow it up and see if I. No, it's not going to allow me to do that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go into the other mode. Go back in and do the.
Steve, if you're trying to show a slide, that was showing. That was.
Yes, but I can't get it to go. Unfortunately, for some reason, we haven't figured it out. I can't get it to go full screen.
We're just going to
allow myself to be able to go down to the slides. They just lock in, so I have to do it this way. So I apologize to everybody. But anyway, this is the inventor of the Healy, Marcus Schmeicke. He's an amazing man. He has followed an incredible path. He started out in the field of quantum physics. He studied under probably the most renowned quantum physicists in Europe back in that were known in the 20th century as the top guys. He did that for a while. He got his degree, and then he decided that he wanted to be able to use that knowledge in a way that could help mankind. But you know, there's always been a disconnect in a way between quantum physics and the real world. It's a very difficult kind of subject to bridge for many people. And so he wound up going to an ashram in India for 7 years and became a monk and studied a lot of Vedic tradition, a lot of Ayurvedic work, and then came out knowing that quantum physics and consciousness is actually the same thing. And it's a linear connection. You can't have without the other. And then with his knowledge and with his new spiritual knowledge, he was able to create the quantum sensor and created a device called the time waiver device, which is a medical device that costs in the range of $30,000 to $40,000, similar to the device I use. It's used in Germany by over 2,500 medical doctors, and they've had at least 500,000 success rate with working with patients over there. And so he spent the last 5 years to basically come up with the technology to miniaturize it. And that's what the Healy is. It's a miniature form of the time waiver device that's been used for 12 years by doctors in the US. The next person that's really important in this is Dr. Nuno Nina. He's from Portugal, and he's basically a person that's been working for the last 20 years in the field of integrative medicine and frequency, and he's the creator and developer of all the 144,000 what are called gold frequencies that are stored in the cloud. These two gentlemen, Dirk Zalman, if you went to Frequency Friday the other day, you'll see that he led it. He's our head of international sales. And Christian Halper is the guy that put the money forward. He's a billionaire, sold a super fund, hedge fund in Europe, and is now taking the money and putting it into the development of Healy, because how much money can a person use in their lifetime? And he felt that he wanted to do something good for mankind, came across Healy, knew this was the thing that had to be in everyone's home, and he's the money behind the company. This is where Healy is established. It's basically out of Berlin. On the left side is the castle where Marcus Schmeicke lives and where they have offices, and then on the right two sides are where they have their development, where they manufacture, and their customer service offices. So this is the frequency, this is the Healy. It's combined of 3 components. In the center is the actual quantum sensor device that can fit in the palm of your hand. And on the left side are the different types of apps that you connect to on either a Android or iPhone. And on the right side is an accessory that is optional, but the one that I also use, which is called the Healy Watch. And the Healy Watch allows you to do a different type of analysis by your biometric data. So I wear it all day long when I go to sleep during the day, and the next morning it hooks up directly to the app, and it shows me everything of what's happened over that past day in terms of things like my sleep and my sleep cycles and my heart rate and my heart rate variability and my breathing rates and all of those things, my stress levels. And then it recommends specific Healy programs that I can run to balance myself. So you get an opportunity to analyze and balance yourself 2 ways. You can do it either by your biometric data that comes right off your body, or you can do it by using the Healy device itself to scan yourself, and based on that scan, figure out what your body needs. So you have two options there. Or you can, like I do, use both. Again, this is just the information about the different aspects of the Healy, which we'll get into. But it's a master control center that coordinates all the pillars of your health, fitness, and vitality. This is the disclaimer that I have to put up here because we are FDA cleared. One of the most exciting things for me is to find out that this device was an FDA cleared device as a Class 2A medical device, because that is having brought so many different devices into the United States. I have, in the past 15 years, been involved in some of many of the devices that you probably have heard of out there. Things like CyberScan, Cell Wellbeing. I was the person that actually went to Germany and brought those devices into the US, and then we had to go through FDA approval. Some of them didn't get approved, some of them did. And so just having that FDA clearance, to me, kind of raises the bar on our device in terms of we had to prove that it actually worked in many different conditions. So when I found that when I'm sharing this device with other health professionals, once I tell them that it is an FDA cleared medical Class 2 device, that alone eases any thoughts that they have about how good this device actually is. Okay, so as we said, we've had 500,000 applications. It's been in 40 countries currently right now. And from what I have heard, this is an old slide, but currently at the moment, there are 48,000 people in the world, we're actually now in 43 countries that are actually using the Healy on a daily basis, 43,000. And you know, the basis of frequency medicine, because we're what's called frequency specific microcurrent. We have the microcurrent part and the frequency part. This slide just shows you that our cells usually operate at a negative 70 millivolt cell membrane potential. That's the electrical potential of a young, healthy cell. And as that potential begins to drop, as you can see on this slide here, you'll notice that we start getting into various types of inflammation, pain, disease. When we get to negative 15 millivolts, that's when tumors start to arise and cancer. And if we get down to 0 millivolts, well, then we're not alive anymore. That's cell death. And I like to sort of use this as a way of describing, like, our body is like a flashlight. And basically, as with a flashlight, we have to recharge it, because if we don't recharge it, the light starts to go down. And so what Healy provides us with is a way of delivering microcurrent into our body on a daily basis to charge up our cells so they're always operating at that negative 70 millivolt level, which means that we can re-energize ourselves, but we can also help restore and rebalance organs, because as we know, the cells of all of the organs of our body change, die off, and regrow. So I think the saying is that in 7 years, every 7 years, there are no cells left in your body that was there 7 years prior. So we're always turning over cells, we're turning over organs, so you can literally recreate all the organs in your body. And if you're having an electrical potential of negative 70 millivolts every single day, that alone is going to keep your cells healthy. And to me, it's really the ultimate anti-aging tool. Some other effects of microcurrent therapy, including the increase of ATP, which helps powers the cells, and mitochondria. It increases protein synthesis, which deals with the DNA, and also increases amino acid transport in the body. There are a couple of different application modes that we can use with the different programs. The most common one are the bracelet electrodes that look like watch bands. They're connected to a small wire directly to the Healy, and they deliver all of the what are called systemic programs. Then we also have adhesive electrodes. Many of you have seen those, maybe if you've had an EKG done, and those are used primarily for pain. They're placed on various areas of the body and can be used for localized pain. And then we have what are called the air clip electrodes, which do what's called the cranial electrical stimulation. So anything we want to treat above the neck, we use the air clips. And that could be not only for things like headaches or migraines, but things like depression, anxiety, and those kinds of issues. The time waiver I mentioned is where this comes from. This is a product for the entire family. Anyone can use this. I'm very excited about the Healy Advisor app, the Healy Advisor search. What this does is it allows you, besides scanning yourself, if you have any specific condition or any specific disease or any specific symptom, you can literally type that information into a box in the Healy Advisor app, and it will tell you specifically which programs you need to run. So you can decide to run the programs for the day that maybe deal with whatever is up for you in that particular day, but you can also treat yourself. Say, for example, you had diabetes and you wanted to treat your diabetes. Well, you type diabetes into the advisor and it will tell you the specific programs to use and the specific electroceuticals to use. And if there isn't something in there and you have a condition and you type it in there, they see it on the other side, and within a couple of days, you will find the frequencies for that condition that is added into this ever-expanding toolbox of treatments. And they want to come to a point in time when any condition or any symptom that anybody has will be in here so that they'll be able to treat anything. Again, the expert database has an interrelationship between organs and meridians and emotions, intelligence scan and search. So the digital nutritional analysis app was the one I mentioned to you that I really am excited about. It allows you to find out which supplements support various organs in the body. And of course, most people, I think that we all know in our community at least, take some form of supplements on a regular basis. And when you start to total up how much it costs to buy the supplements that you take on a month, you'll find that if you don't have to do that anymore, if you don't have to purchase those supplements, imagine how much money that you're saving by having this device that actually will deliver those frequencies of those substances directly to all your cells at 100% level. I mean, when we take things like vitamins and minerals, etc., we are ingesting them, but there's always the issue of how much do we actually absorb. And a lot of it has to do with the basis of how well your digestive system is functioning. And many patients I see, that's their biggest issue, is GI-related problems. So you always wonder, yeah, I'm taking vitamin C and vitamin D, etc., but am I really absorbing all of it? But with the Healy, you'll know that that frequency is going directly to every cell of your body. The search we talked about. Then we have the Healy Watch, which I mentioned to you. Again, the different parameters that it measures. It also finds the programs to balance you. It does measuring analysis, determines the frequency programs. It has about 40 different parameters that it measures at this current time. But the medical team specifically told me that they are constantly developing new parameters that they can easily add just by updating the software. The great news about the Healy and about the watch is that it's all based on it's app-based. So at any time, they can update the software. And as soon as you turn it on, it's like turning on an app on your phone. It automatically updates. And I'll tell you one of the most exciting things that came down the pike. With the situation that's occurring right now with the virus that we're dealing with, immediately the medical team got together and said, we need to send down a program specifically for everybody using the Healy, a prevention program, a protection program. So they came up with a program that they call the Bioenergetic Balance Program that is specifically designed to deal with the current situation that is happening right now in terms of what we're dealing with. And I am very careful with the words that I use because we're an FDA compliant device. I can't make any medical claims, so I'm very careful when I talk and speak about various diseases or various conditions, but we all know what I'm referring to. They came up with a program that they recommended that we all do every single day, at least once, to protect ourselves and to stimulate our immune systems to the specific issues that are going on right now. And that was something that they gave to everybody for free, and they delivered it literally overnight to everybody's app, so that when you woke up in the morning, there it was. Again, this talks about the watch and some of the various functions. So besides doing the Healy programs, it also does everything that you'd want a smartwatch to do in terms of, giving you messages, and also has a really interesting 911 function where if anything happens to you, if you press the 911 button, it'll alert the authorities and people that you have registered in there of exactly your location to be able to find you just by pressing that 911 button, which I think is really kind of cool. That's the SOS function here, which allows you to do that in case in an emergency, something happens to you, that there's an actual location that's there. These are some of the people on the medical advisory board. Dr. Carolyn McMakin is very famous. She brought frequency-specific microcurrent to the United States about 20 years ago. She has written many books. She has a book called Resonance Effect that I highly recommend, that talks about some of the basis of frequency-specific microcurrent, which is the basis of the Healy device. It's a Class 2A medical device, as I said. Now we get into the different editions. There are 4 editions of Healy. The difference between the editions is basically the programs. Everyone gets the same hardware device that's used, and so you can upgrade this program at any time. The prices that are listed here are in euros. They will have within the next 24 hours in your back office the conversion to the American dollars, but right now, just to give you a frame of reference, the dollar to euro is very, very close. I think it's trading now at $1 to $1.09 euros. So the price for the Healy, probably, if it's 417 euros, probably about $470, but don't quote me on that because they're going to be doing the conversions sometime today, and those numbers will be in your back office before tomorrow. Then we also have what's called the Healy Holistic Health, the Healy Holistic Health Plus, and the Healy Resonance. And the difference between these devices is the amount of programs you have. The Healy Resonance has all the 120 programs, but the benefit of having the Resonance is of all the 4 models, it's the only one that allows you to do the actual scan on yourself on a daily basis. The other devices, you can pick and choose whichever programs you think are Apple, but the Resonance device is the one that actually does the scan. And there's an exciting promotion for the next couple of days, which is because of the opening of the US market, is that anyone that purchases a Healy Holistic Plus the next couple of days will be automatically upgraded for free to the Healy Resonance device. And we'll talk all about more about that in a moment, but that's like an $800 saving right off the bat. And so if you're able to do that, I would absolutely recommend, I'm recommending all of the members underneath me, if they can do it, to get the Healy Holistic Health Plus. Because not only are you automatically upgraded for free to the Healy Resonance, but in the next 30 days, if you sign up or register 3 other people and they purchase any edition, they can even purchase the gold edition, you'll automatically be given a free Healy Resonance sent to you. So now you have 2 Healy Resonances, and you can give it to somebody in your family. You can have it as one, as a demo device. You can give it as a gift to somebody. But it's a really amazing opportunity that happens over the first 30 days. It's called the Fast Start Bonus. But again, we're given now, because we've signed up before the country opens, a special deal, which is that free upgrade. So we actually save $800 doing that. As you can see, these are the areas. They've done a survey of people that use the Healy, and this is the specific areas that people seem to use it for. Pain the most, and then we have stress, and we have chronic conditions, insomnia, allergies, wellness, fitness, depression, etc. Most people use their Healys daily. And in terms of effectiveness, if you total up these numbers here, you'll see that there's a 96% effective rate. And you'll find that what they have found is that across the world now, with the 48,000 people that have the device, have found that it's actually now gone from 94% to 96% of the people that try the device once purchase the device. And as they have said, there's no other product out there on the market, bar none, that you can find where 96% of people that try the device once purchase it. And we have some information. It is a network marketing ability to be sold. The reason they chose that is because initially it was going to be sold by doctors. But as I can attest, doctors are not good marketers, and therefore they wanted to get this device out to as many people as possible. So they felt that the best way to do that is through network marketing. So there is a network marketing potential here to allow you to make money. I'm not really going to get into that tonight because we have separate webinars and Zooms on that. And I also have saved Zooms of really great presentations. So if you haven't seen a network marketing presentation and you want that information, I suggest you speak to the person that signed you up, your sponsor, and they can, they probably have access to it. And if not, I can give them access to the recorded marketing video. Again, we're worldwide. We're in 43 countries. We're opening up the United States on May 1st. Soon to follow after that is Canada, probably before the end of the summer. And soon to follow after that is going to be Mexico before the end of the year. As I mentioned, we have some what are called fast start promotions. Every time you sign up 3 people in the first 30 days, that person automatically gets upgraded to the next device. If you purchase a resonance as your first device, again, if you sign 3 people up, you get a free resonance. However, the offer is that you don't need to buy the resonance to do that. If you get the Holistic Healy, the Healy Holistic Health Plus in the next couple of days, you'll automatically be included in that special upgrade bonus. So we have direct bonuses, we have what are called dual bonuses, we have what are called matching bonuses, mobility bonuses, rank achievement bonuses, and leadership bonuses. So there's basically 6 ways in Healy to make money. And from people that I have worked with, I have a lot of professional network marketers in my line that have, those are the guys that have been around for 20 years, and that's their full-time occupation. These are people that make $100,000 a month doing network marketing. And those who have seen the network program, the marketing program, have said to me that by far they have never seen a network marketing program as good as this program. So that's basically my quick run through of the device and the marketing. And so now we're open for questions. So I'll turn it over back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Dr. Small. Here, go ahead, just finish sharing your screen. Great. All right. So yeah, I want to open up for calls here. Any kind of questions? There's a couple that came in. I'd like to just share though, before I open up for other questions, I want to let you know, my background a little bit in regards to this is I've never really been one for the network marketing scene. But I will say though that it is really brilliant this day and age, even really just what happened within the last month. Everything has really changed in the world. People that may not have been into this before now are looking for different forms of income. And also I think a lot of people really think, how can they help people? And like, I just saw a stat, like the second most important topic. I'm curious what the first and most important topic was, but they said the second most important topic right now that people are talking about is people's health. I can only imagine what number one must probably be people's finances. That's got to be number one. And the Healy addresses both of those things. I have a completely different holistic company that I run and operate, but a lot of my Vibe owners are on this call and are part of this group because we're all here to harmonize humanity and raise the vibration of the planet. And never more than right now is that not so much an option, it's a necessity. So it's not a luxury.
Steve, I think it's really interesting. I've been saying to people that how opportune that the Healy came forward, like right at this moment in time with exactly what we're going through. Because it's the only time, as you said, on the planet, the only time that I can think of in history of the planet that every single person on the planet right now is all thinking about the same thing at the same time. Everyone is focusing on their health, and everyone, because most people have been laid off right now, either temporarily or permanently, is how am I going to make a living? And the beauty of the Healy is, as I've said to so many people over the last 6 weeks since we've been in quarantine, I have never worked harder in my life. I'm working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, because the ability to use Zoom calls and the internet and your phone allows you to be up and running and have your own business. And so this has become a really interesting topic for people that never would have gone into the field of network marketing. They're looking at it finally because they can do it as their own business with a very limited amount of money to start up. I spoke last week on a private leaders call to people around the world that are currently making with Healy $100,000 a month, and the company is not even a year old. So the possibility that that could happen to any of us out here, and any of us could do that, and just investing, you know, a minimal amount of money, a couple of $1,000s, I don't think you can find any other business out there in the world that you can have this kind of an opportunity with that little amount of investment.
True. Thank you, Dr. Small. I want to read a couple of questions that people have written here, and I encourage anybody that has any questions, put them in the chat, and then I'll read through them. So this first question is the promo also valid for sales in Europe or the US only?
The US only. Promos come about when a country opens. They're called country specials. And so we're opening the USA. So Europe had their specials. Australia just is completing a special. So it only happens when a company opens. And since we're opening up on May 1st, we are giving this special to the members that have signed up.
So this was another question about the comp plan, is that there hasn't been enough information about the comp plan. What I would recommend in regards to that, for the purpose of this call, and Dr. Small and I have discussed, the comp plan in of itself, that's an hour talk in and of itself. And we really, because of the sale that's happening, we wanted people to get an overview of the products, the different options, the different specials that are going on right now, and really introduce this technology. What I like best about it, just from my own perspective, is as somebody that's kind of leading this group, this little subgroup that we're in here, that you guys are all associated with, is it's all about the community. Like, there's different aspects. There's people that I directly have brought in. I brought in 10 people directly to it, but we have, I think in my group, over 30, and with everybody signing up here today, we'll have over 50 people. We're all in this network together, and in some way, shape, or form, we're all helping and supporting each other. And I invite everybody also that's on this call to see the people that invited them here. They're going to be able to invite you directly into our private Healy Vibe Tribe community. And we post all of our videos there. We post all the Zoom calls there. And people are asking me questions all the time. And I say, put it in the chat. And so it's a great way for everybody to have the same resources. And we just keep growing this thing, because this is really a global movement that we're pulling together. And right now we're about to open up the US, which is really exciting. You guys, we're all pioneers here. So in regards to the comp plan, what I'd say is there's some good videos that you can just Google online to see, and then we can also send out some links. So talk to the people that invited you onto this call, and they can provide those specific videos for that.
And one thing I'd like to add, Steve, is the fact that, you know, I've never been somebody to really focus a lot of time and energy and effort into network marketing, because it's just never been my thing, because I always felt that, you know, I'm not a kind of a salesperson. But I can tell you that this has been the most unique experience that I have ever had myself. Currently, right now, I have 700 people in my group, and that grows every single day. And that's only been since March. And I'll tell you that the device sells itself. I have not had anybody that I have talked to or shown the device say no. I have literally had yeses from everybody. And I think that's really unique, because you don't have to feel like you're selling anything to somebody. You just tell them to try it, to see how they feel. They automatically feel different when they use the device. Even if you don't have the device, you can show them and talk about testimonials and how other people are. And it just, like I said, they have a 96% rate of people that try it the first time and immediately buy it. So it's not a heavy sales pitch, and you don't have to convince somebody, and you don't have to tell somebody, you know, take this supplement and wait 30 days to see how it's going to affect you. This is one of those things that works instantaneously. The beauty is, what I do when I'm meeting somebody for the first time, if I want to demo it, I just briefly show them the first intro video, and then I say, would you like to try it? And I hook them up, and we pick a program, or we have the scan pick a program, and I let it run. And then I go to talk with them over the next half hour or 40 minutes, just about details or questions they have. And then by the end of that 40 minutes, they've already had the session, and I say to them, well, how do you feel? And they go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I had this, that, or the other when I came in to sit down, and already that has shifted. So the device it's easy. It's not a hard sell. It sells itself, and you will be amazed at how many people will begin to become part of your own individual group here. It's really easy and happens very quickly.
Thank you, Dr. Steve. This is the self-care revolution. You know, that's really what's going on here. And it's perfect with people getting ready to come out of quarantine globally, as they're going to look for something that's really wanting to help them. So there's two people asked the same question here, is how long are the promos going on for? And I believe that it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, correct, Dr. Small?
Yes, the promo for the upgrade promo is for 3 days. It's for people that are registered. So you need to register yourself actually today. Europe is a day ahead. So they're going to be sending out an email to everybody that has previously been registered with a special code. And when you go to order, the device will become available for sale to the people that are registered on Monday morning. Okay, and you'll be getting a lot of emails over the next couple of days if you're registered. And then you'll be able to actually purchase the device at that point. The US dollar amount will be in there. And you will get a full explanation by this evening from the company of exactly all the details of the promo. They should also be sending you, I've been told, a further explanation of the comp plan. And you have 3 days if you want to take advantage of the free upgrade. So it's 3 days to do that.
So can you give some clarification on exactly what they need to do to register? What is the process of registering?
So the process to register is to speak to the person that brought them to the video, or the person that showed them the Healy, and the person will actually register them. It's easy. Basically, no money is involved. You need name, address, phone number, email, and that's the whole process. Another benefit of being registered now, besides the upgrade specialist, ultimately, after the 1st of May, they are going to charge a $49.95 business fee. It's a yearly fee. It's mandated by the United States government that every network marketing company in the United States charges a fee to be a legal network company. So if you are registered, at this time, before the 1st of May, they will waive that $49.95 fee, and it'll come into effect a year from now. But everybody else that purchases the device after May 1st is going to have to additionally pay the $49.95 one-time yearly business fee. So it's another benefit of registering now.
Can I ask the kind of question?
Hold on a second. Just 1 second, real quick. You answer that question. Is it necessary to have their bank information in as to be considered as registered?
The bank information is primarily to get paid. You will need currently what's called a SWIFT code, which is a code that all banks use for international payments. I don't expect people to start getting paid for obviously a couple of weeks, because there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they're going to wait to make sure that people don't return the device, although the return rate is less than 1%. But more importantly is to put your credit card information in there.
Okay. So we're going to go, we have a few minutes, actually it's about 7 o'clock right now. We have
either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to have the information in the back office.
Oh, I'm sorry. You cut off there for a second. We have a bunch of questions, so I kind of want to, and we're at the top of the hour, and I want to be in integrity with this call. I want to get through the rest of these questions, so let's keep moving through them.
I have a complex question.
Yes.
Can I ask
Go ahead, Daniel.
Okay, thank you. So, oh shoot, I just had it ready. Go ahead.
Write it out, please.
Okay,
Go with
we're gonna ask the question
about,
do we have any testimonials anywhere that are archived for people to share, right?
Yes.
Even if they haven't gotten their Healys yet.
There's a Facebook page, and it's called The Healy Experience. And you go to that page, and it's an open group. It's a public group. You will see testimonials from people all over the world that already have had the Healy, and they cover every aspect, every medical condition, and they're really phenomenal.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Dan, go ahead.
Okay, so right now the onboarding process is quite easy. You have a friend or a colleague involved that is interested, and you kind of go through it. You put them in there and all that stuff. Moving forward, let's say I interact with a stranger, someone that walks into our store. I let them try the Healy. They decide they want it. Is it the same onboarding process? And
No, not at all. You'll in the future. The only reason we're doing it now this way is because a lot of people are positioning people in certain places in terms of where they want them. There's also an option to be a customer and not a member, and the difference between the two is a customer is somebody that just wants to purchase the Healy and doesn't necessarily want to do the network marketing part. And on that, you have a link. You're going to have a unique link with your username, and you'll be able to give them that link, and they'll go right into your store. And they can just purchase it, and you'll never interact with them whatsoever. They'll make the purchase, they'll give their information, the company will send the device out to them, and you'll just receive the money on a weekly basis directly into your bank account.
That's great.
And then one more thing. Is it ever possible that being a FDA number 2 device, that the insurance would possibly pick something like that up?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's an interesting question. Thank you for asking it. I just got a message from somebody in the group that's involved at the top that said to me that this was just today. Actually, she said that she has the specific codes and the insurance companies that will accept the Healy for partial reimbursement or full reimbursement, depending upon your particular insurance company. And I promise you that as soon as I get she promised to get it to me by the end of the day, that as soon as I get that information, I'll be making that available to everybody.
Thank you.
That's big. Thank you, Daniel, for those questions. So here's another question about the comp plan. What is the best way to review the comp plan in detail, in the most detail, especially if you haven't signed up yet? If somebody is making a decision on wanting to sign up, but they really want to get deeply into the comp plan, what do you recommend?
Well, I think the best way to do it is CJ, who is the head of the Healy Academy. He's also my direct upline in Europe. He's the guy that that sponsored me. He works for the company for Healy. He puts on every week a 2-part brilliant comp plan, a 1-hour Zoom that goes into the minus details of doing it. And I have that recorded. A number of us have it recorded. So you can look at that. And also, they're completing the USA comp plan, and that supposedly will be in everybody's back offices within the next 24 hours. It'll be written out completely. So you have an option to read it, or you have an option to watch CJ's comp plan presentation, which is unbelievably excellent. That will be made available. So those are the ways right now.
Great. Are there any other questions? If you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask, or you can type it into the chat below. And it looks like for now, I'm really impressed. It's just 5 after 7. We covered so much information. Doesn't look like there's any more questions. What I would ask is if we have 26 people that are on this call today, on this Saturday. I think that's fantastic. This was our first group meeting of our Healy Vibe Tribe community. And we're going to start doing these probably on a weekly basis. Anybody that is on this call that's interested, please talk to the person that signed you up, and we can get you into our group. And then we're going to add you directly into our private WhatsApp chat. And then that's going to get you plugged into all of our resources, because this is a community that we're pulling together. And this is just the beginning. And we're excited to, we've been at this now for the last maybe 60 days of leading up to the launch. And a lot of people are kind of feeling like, oh, the launch is finally here. Like this is the quote unquote end, but really nothing's even happened yet. Like, there's only really a few Healys that's around, and we've been sharing Dr. Small's Healy, and we're about to now have all of our own and really start digging heavily into the effects of this biofeedback system. And I'd like to share in closing as well, I've put thousands of people through bioenergetic technologies and over the years. And I always say, as a chiropractor, even when people come and see me 3 days a week for the rest of their lives, which wasn't really the case, it's still a a blip in time of how much they're actually interacting with their practitioners. What kind of food are you eating? What kind of water are you drinking? What kind of thoughts are you thinking? And being able to bring in positive balancing frequencies into your field to interact with all the negative frequencies that we're living in this toxic environment. This is what's most exciting about working with frequency medicine. And this is a really affordable access point that everybody's going to have the ability to receive at this point. So I want to thank you all. Yes.
2 closing comments, Steve.
Yes, please.
The company is very philanthropic. I can tell you, having interacted personally with the CEO, the CFO, the heads of the medical departments, I have an ongoing direct conversation with them. They are in it for the healing. That's their main concern. And the good news is that even if somebody doesn't have the money to purchase a Healy, they can still get a Healy. I mean, what other company do you know that can get involved without actually putting money up? For those people who even at this point in time just can't even muster the $400 to get the Healy Gold, there is a process where if they have 3 people that they directly sign up that purchase a Healy Holistic Health Plus, they will be given a Healy for free, just by recommending and referring.
Can that be a customer, or do they have to be 3 members, or can there be 3 customers, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter, as long as they sell 3 Healys, either way.
There was another question about
think about that. Let me just complete here.
I'm sorry.
So the special that's happening over the 3 days is just the upgrade special. But every single person, irregardless of when they sign up, has what's called a 30-day fast start bonus that occurs from the moment you sign up to 30 days beyond that, that allows you to upgrade your device at every level for every 3 people that you bring in, members that you bring in, or customers that you bring in. In other words, any 3 devices of any category that you sell entitles you to upgrade to the next level. So potentially, if you can come in at the Healy Gold level and bring 9 people in and get a Healy Resonance. So the only way to get a free Healy Resonance on top of the one you buy is if you come in at the Resonance level. If you come in at the Resonance level and you share it with 3 people and they buy 3 Golds, you automatically get a free Resonance. But because of the special that's happening right now, if you purchase a Healy Holistic Health Plus, you'll automatically be upgraded to a Resonance. And then if you get 3 people to come in within the next 30 days, okay, you'll automatically get a second free Resonance. So that part continues on, okay, for the first 30 days, regardless of when you come into the company, that fast start bonus. The difference is that it's allowing you now to come in at a lower cost, about $800 off, to get the Resonance, but everything else will hold true for everybody in the future that comes in. Of course, after the 1st of May, if you purchase, and you are a member, you do have to include the $49.95 1-year business fee, which is waived for all people that are currently registered. But other than that, there's always, when new people come in, they always have that opportunity in the first 30 days to get those specials to be able to upgrade themselves automatically. So I just wanted to put that out to you, that you can get a free Healy even if you don't have any money, and you can upgrade at any time in the first 30 days. If, for example, you can't get a Holistic Health Plus right now, but you start out at a Healy Holistic, you can, over the 30 days, as you sign people up, you can literally get to the point of having a Resonance. So there's many options here. They want to make it so that it's available to as many people as they can. And their goal is, they are considered to be the fastest growing network market company in the world currently right now. And they're expecting, they've already made over $15 million in the first year, which is unheard of. And their goal is, in this coming year, from this date on for a year, their goal is to make $100 million in sales. So what that means is that we all benefit from that, because those are our sales. So the company just has a really amazing spiritual underpinning here. And I want to put that out to you, because most of the MLM companies that I've come in contact with over the years, it's all about sales, sales, sales. And if you've heard Marcus Schmeike speak, and if you haven't, I absolutely recommend you go to YouTube and you look him up. He has dozens of speeches on YouTube where he talks about the whole consciousness of how this company was created, the consciousness of what's behind this device, and you will be very impressed with the humbleness and the loving of how he presents this approach.
I think that's the number one thing that I really have gotten from this is listening to the people that have created this device. They know what they're talking about. From somebody that's an expert in biofeedback, between you and myself, I can tell when somebody knows what they're talking about in regards to biofeedback. And every time I listen to anybody in their organization speak clinically about this, the way that they speak, they know what they're doing. And I feel really, really honored to be a part of this, to carry that torch into the United States. And we're excited to share all of this with all of you. There was another question. There's two questions. One is where can they get the replay of this video that we've been recording? We're going to
we will post it in the Vibe. I'll repost it. Well, you can repost it.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to ask about the recording of the comp plan, which I will also post, by the way, in the Vibe group. So people will be able to access it as soon as we get off it. Make sure that that's available also.
And one last question is, can people buy all three? Can they buy 3 Healys to get a free resonance?
So the way it works is that you're allowed to buy 2 devices under your name, specifically on your account. It doesn't forbid you to open up a business account as a separate account. And of course, if you have family members like spouses or children, you can open up accounts under their names too, and they could, purchase from you, which count towards your next level also. As long as the email addresses are different and the name of the person is different, you can add as many as you want. Again, under your own personal account, you're allowed to do 2. Beyond that, you can, do other ways to make it happen.
He did. Christian did say earlier today that we could purchase all 3 of the gold if we did it in the first 3 days. If we bought golds, they would all be also upgraded for free, and then we would get the free resonance, and that we could use the 3.
No, that's not accurate. I was on that call. It's not accurate information. Okay, it's not accurate information. The only way to get the free resonance is if you purchase the Healy Holistic Health, and it gets upgraded automatically, or or if you get a lesser model for every 3 people that order it moves up. You can purchase 3, but you can, I'm telling you, and it's interesting because I clarified that. I made a phone call directly to CJ right after that video happened because I wanted to clarify with him in terms of that because of what I had known. And he confirmed with me that a person can only purchase, what he was referring to is that somebody else in their family, okay, would purchase the other device and be underneath them, and they'd get credit for that device, obviously, because they've enrolled that. And that's the only way that can be done. Because the company only allows you to buy 2 devices to your name. You want to add any, it's family members, friends, whatever, but that's how that works then.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you. Okay, one of the people here on chat, they posted a link. If you guys want to go copy that link for different talks and things like that. But I think that's it. We're going to finish up if there's no more questions. And I really want to thank you all for being on this call on this Saturday. We're really inspired to see how much interest there is from all of you. People, I'm excited to get to know each and every one of you personally as we go into May 1st. And we're here to help. We're here to harmonize humanity and raise the vibration of the planet using sound, light, frequency, and vibration. So thank you so much.
Everybody has their own Healy, Steve. Then we're going to start doing trainings. So instead of just doing promo types, which we've done right now, I felt personally that it was kind of ridiculous to start doing training videos with people that have never even seen or used the device in their hands. So once people start getting their devices, we will start to do various types of training devices because there are certain approaches that I have learned over time working with the device, talking to the company of certain ways to go in terms of how to get the most benefit or effectiveness. And we will start doing these regularly also.
I mean, that's what I'm most excited about is the ability to train. I mean, I've trained doctors on biofeedback systems for, 5 years. So for us to be able to really dig into these programs available to the layperson and start really creating some amazing protocols or being sure that people can use them at the highest level is what I'm all about. So getting the Healy is the easiest beginning step, and then we get to have fun.
And one last comment. This is just the beginning, guys. I've talked to the science team. We are scratching the surface. They have promised me that what's to come in the next year or 10 years, they have a 10-year plan, is going to blow your mind. They're going to have programs very soon that are available as add-ons for pets, dogs, cats, and horses. They're going to have programs for stem cells, for anti-aging. They're going to have all sorts of programs, a weight loss program. All of these things they're developing right now that are going to be add-ons to what we're doing here, and they're just going to keep going and going and going. The substance base has 72 substances right now. They've already talked about adding things like CBD frequencies and other frequencies, and so this is a never-ending expansion. What we see here today is just the start, the scratching of the surface. They told me it's like the tip of the iceberg in terms of what they have planned, and I can only imagine, knowing that team, can only imagine that some really incredible stuff is going to come out. I also heard somebody mention today that they actually have a program that's going to allow you to be able to learn languages really, really quickly because of addressing certain areas of the brain. So they have everything covered. This device covers every aspect of your life, from inner and outer beauty, inner and outer health, prevention, disease treatment. I mean, you name it, they have it covered. It's the most exciting thing that I have seen in all the years that I've been involved in this field, and I've been involved in this field for over 20 years, and I teach regularly hundreds of doctors all over the world. But I'll tell you something, I've never seen anything like this before. I am so excited for everybody to have one of these in their own hands, to be able to use it, because you'll see from day one, it's going to change your life. So thanks again for listening tonight. Speak to your sponsor. If you're not already registered, you need to do that before the end of this evening to take advantage of the specials. Make sure you check in your emails. You'll be getting a number of emails within the next 24 hours that tell you how to sign up for the specials. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. And at that point, everyone will have their Healy and be able to wear it and show it. And we'll just keep moving on and on and on. So onward and upward, everybody.
Could this go wrong? Could some hackers get into the cloud and send?
No, it is a secure German medical cloud that is unhackable. And first of all, it doesn't store any of your data. Just so you know that none of your data goes into the cloud. The only thing
for data, for frequency, could they program? Like, let's say it got into the wrong hands. Could it be?
It can't happen because they spend millions. They told me that it cost them $10 million every 3 months to have their cloud certified as a secure medical cloud that is unhackable. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? That it's that when you can't, when it's oh God, I lost the word. What means that encrypted. It's encrypted. So nobody can get in. Nobody has been able to get in. You don't have to worry about that. It is secure. And there will be no problems. They have to recertify every 3 months. The German government requires them to recertify every 3 months as a secure medical cloud, which has the utmost levels of security because it's a medical cloud. But they don't store any of your information in the cloud. It's the information that comes down to your phone. And you'll notice every time you run a program, it doesn't store on your phone. You have to re-download the program each time because of that reason, because of security issues.
Sure. Okay.
Hopefully I've answered all your questions. If you have any additional...
I had put one in the chat earlier. We don't have to do anything once, because I registered people today that already want to buy a device, and that's it. That's all we have to do, because they'll get the email and we'll just automatically get credit, right? It'll just go in our customer section.
That's right. Absolutely right. And I would just check in today. I'm telling everyone to check in with all the people they've registered over the last month or two to make sure they're aware that they need to look for that email, and to let them know that the special for the automatic upgrade is available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before it opens up on May 1st to the general public. And so it's kind of a call to action to tell people, if you want to make sure you get your Healy and you want to get the upgrade, you need to do it in those first 3 days, and to keep checking your email, because you're going to be getting a number of emails from the company in the next 24 hours that give you a lot of information about the comp plan, about what the prices are, the new prices in US dollars, about how to register, how to take advantage of the program. You'll be given a specific unique code that can only be used once. So you don't want to give that code away, because if you do and somebody else uses it, the offer is null and valid. And that's basically it. So thanks again, everyone. And hopefully you've gotten your questions answered and you're as excited as I am. I've had the Healy for 3 months, luckily, but it's like Christmas all over. When that package comes in the mail, I'll tell you, it's going to be an amazing day for you all.
Well, I can't wait to share this call, because this call just reels everything in and answers everything so concisely. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and all your knowledge and everything you've done over this years. I mean, I really think just your speech and your presentation is going to sell everyone. And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't even have to be sold. It just is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I mean, I take this as almost as my responsibility. When this came to me in November and nobody in the United States had a Healy, I was like one of the first people in the US to actually have one. I wondered why that happened, why I was given that, opportunity. And I knew that it was because of my experience and my background and knowing how frequency medicine is the medicine of the future. As a matter of fact, Albert Einstein in the 1950s said, and you can look up this quote, "The future of medicine is frequency medicine." That was an actual quote by Einstein. And of course, Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secret of the universe, understand frequency, energy, and vibration. Why were the two greatest minds of the 20th century directing us to the word frequency? When you think about it, both of them said frequency, the greatest minds and greatest inventors of the 20th century, frequency, because they saw ahead of time and they knew that this was what the world is about. And I'm so grateful to be one of the people to be able to bring forward this technology to the United States and create a level of healing like we've never experienced before. So thank you all.